Hi, my name's Amy DeVoe. I live in Boston with my husband Michael and our 3-year-old daughter Millie. I'm a leukemia survivor and I'm a recipient of a Foundation grant, which helped my husband and I pay for our rent while I was going through treatment for leukemia. My cancer journey starts the day after Thanksgiving of 2017. My daughter Millie was 5 months old and I was, for lack of a better word, a complete mess. I had suffered complications through her birth. I developed blood clots in my arms. I felt awful and I was just exhausted. I would stand up from the couch and I would see stars. I would have to grab something to stabilize myself. There were times where I was out walking and I didn't think that I'd be able to muster the strength to get the stroller through our door. And that's when it started to scare me, and I called my doctor and they kind of thought that it was a bad case of pneumonia. You know, I couldn't catch my breath. I was just, in hindsight, a complete mess. And at the urging of my doctor, I drove myself to the ER on the Friday after Thanksgiving. And it was there, after numerous bone marrow biopsies, a transfer to Beth Israel in Boston, a night in the ER followed by the ICU, that I was diagnosed with acute promyelocytic leukemia, which is extremely rare but completely treatable. The treatment is about 8 months of daily therapies. So I would go to the hospital for 4 weeks of daily infusions, and then I would get a month off, and then I would go back for a month of daily infusions, alternated with different pills and injections and things like that. So I spent 28 days inpatient at Beth Israel. I came home December 22nd, so I got to spend the very first Christmas with Millie at home. And I then began my outpatient treatment, being declared in full remission in August of 2018. I received, I found out about the Foundation when I was inpatient at Beth Israel. I was newly diagnosed. My husband had been home with our daughter for 28 days. I wasn't working. I had decided to take a little time off after my daughter's birth, and I was actually actively job hunting. I had to call a couple of interviews and tell them that I wasn't going to be able to come in because I was actually in the hospital. And so the social worker provided me with a few different resources, organizations that helped families that were going through chemotherapy, and different organizations that could help pay some household bills or rent or mortgage payments. And there isn't a lot out there. There are a lot of organizations doing tremendous work, but there aren't a lot of organizations that just help anyone. My type of leukemia was incredibly rare, and so there wasn't really a support system. There wasn't a network. There wasn't anyone to kind of have rally around me and help. So when I found out that, the Foundation would pay, your rent, part of your rent, it was incredible. We submitted our application, when I was about probably halfway through my treatment, and they sent a check directly to our management company. We were, kind of in a dark place since I was going to the hospital every day. I wasn't able to work, but at the same time, I needed to find and sometimes pay for people to care for our daughter while I was at the hospital for, a couple hours every afternoon. Finances, I would say, were incredibly tight, incredibly. And I think that, people just don't realize the financial toll that cancer can take on a family. We came close to losing a lot. We burned through every single piece of our savings. We put a lot of things on credit cards. We were living on one income, trying to support a family of 3 in Boston. And we knew that we were going to get there, and I knew that I was going to be okay, but it still took me to a really dark place mentally. And receiving, a little glimmer of hope from the Fly Foundation was incredible. It kind of, got us over a hump. We knew that the treatment was going to be 8 months. And when, that check cleared and we didn't have to pay our rent that month, we could save that money. We could, buy some groceries. We could, do something as a family. It really just was the motivation and the push that we needed to say, we're going to get through this. We're going to be fine. I'm going to be healthy. And there's going to be an end to this, and life will thankfully at some point go back to normal. So my gratitude to the Fly Foundation is immeasurable. I cannot thank them enough. I have now been in remission for 2 years, so which is incredible. It seems like a lifetime ago, and the fact that there's organizations out there that are helping people pay bills, pay rent, pay mortgages. Like, this is what people who are going through chemo need. Their families need support. They need any sort of assistance that they can. So I just want to thank everyone for donating, for supporting, and helping the Fly Foundation exist so that they can help patients like me and families like mine. So thank you so much, and I appreciate it.